Okay, call the meeting to order. The special meeting of the City Commission of Marine City, Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Excuse me, ran out of air. 5:30 p.m. We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bryson.
Here.
Commissioner Hendrick. Here. Commissioner Callahan. Here. Commissioner Klassen.
Here.
Commissioner Kreidler.
Here.
Commissioner Ross.
Here.
Mayor Verkaman is absent. And City Manager Chapman. Here. But Mayor Verkaman is on the phone via speakerphone.
I need a motion to excuse Mayor Verkaman.
So moved.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Next, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Any discussion, changes, deletions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Public comment. Anyone's welcome to address the City Commission. Please state your name and limit comments to 5 minutes. This is a time for you to raise issues. The Commission will not respond, but issues will be followed up on as necessary. Okay.
Philip Luckshak. I just want to say, I think the appointment of the treasurer should be postponed to an actual normal city commission meeting where people would expect that type of business to be done instead of a special meeting, possibly more attendance, things like that. People should know who the city is going to be hiring in that position, and they'd most likely expect to be done at a normal commission meeting instead of a special one. Also, I think if you guys do move forward, that it should be tabled because I've looked at the resumes of all the treasurer, the people that applied for it, and the person that, and no offense to the person if they're out there, this is just a business thing, I don't see any municipal experience. There's people out there that do have municipal finance experience. They've got experience in municipal level, and private sector finances are a lot different than public sector finances. So I think we should move the direction of having someone with municipal experience. The next thing I want to ask, based on seeing that, another red flag I got is this person that we're hiring had been with the company since 1998, and that's their present employer. Why are they leaving to come to Marine City? And then I just have a question for our city manager, and I hope a commissioner or two could raise a question just to scrutinize a little bit. Is there any connections with our city manager and this treasurer? Does our treasurer know this individual outside of the realm of just the hiring employee relationship? I think those need to be scrutinized. I think those questions need to be asked. I understand the charter says that it's up to the city manager to hire these positions. But you as a commission, you approve the contract ultimately, and you've got to look in the best interest of the residents, and you've got to do what's right. And if it means you need to scrutinize red flags that might pop up or red flags that citizens have, then that's what you need to do. So I'm asking that you please table this, you do it at a normal commission meeting, and if you do decide to go through it tonight, you have a discussion period, that questions get raised as to why this individual, a little more on their background, and do they have any affiliations or connections with their city manager or any other member on this commission. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Hearing none, moving to new business, the treasurer appointment. Holly?
Yes. So in your packet, you will see the contract that Bob drafted up. It is very similar to Shannon's, with the exception of there was some negotiated points like salary and vacation, just as they were with Shannon. Same type of argument here that if we're going to go and get and hire and retain and choose the best people, I'm for a contract type of scenario, especially when it comes to department heads. We have to dangle the carrot to make sure that the people are coming here are getting what they want, and we're getting the best candidate because of it. So That's the employment agreement, again drafted by Bob, and then I know that the first time around you had wanted to see a resume, so we did include that in this pile too so that you could see Rachel's experience. I want to speak to the process a little bit. There is a very good reason that we're here tonight, and I actually would like to say thank you for everybody being a little adaptable to coming early tonight, because we don't want to wait till the 21st and then have to wait for this person to give their notice, and then we're pushing further into May to get this person in here. It was mentioned at the last commission meeting that by, I believe you, Commissioner Hendrick, we need to get our treasurer in here. We already had her chosen, I've chosen her. I want to bring it to you. I already knew I was having you here tonight to have a quorum for the work group. It made sense to do this tonight and get ourselves a week ahead, really a week and a half ahead of, her giving her notice. So that's why we're here tonight. It's to get her in here, give her a little bit more time learning with UHY, going through the training process. We want to have UHY start putting their exit strategy in place, but to do that, we want, part of that exit strategy is training the new treasurer. So we want to have that start happening sooner rather than later. To the process a little bit deeper. So when this all began, Chris and I started doing some of the interviews, and then Chris kind of transitioned that over to Shannon, and Shannon did the rest of the interviews with me. And I'll be honest, there was one candidate that came forward that had any municipal experience whatsoever. And I'd say when we got to the end of all of the interviewing process, everybody who had submitted, it was not easy. In fact, Shannon had to go into Indeed and actually start headhunting for people who had put their resumes in there based on their experience criteria, what they wanted to do. We did not have resumes flooding in for this job. We did not have 55 resumes in here that we were going through. We had to pull to get the resumes. I want to make that clear. People are not jumping up and down to take municipal jobs. They're not paid what they can in the private sector. They're not usually treated very well. It's a hard job. You all know this. So I was grateful for all of the resumes that we had. When we got down to the end, we probably had, I think it was 3 that were really the 3 we were kicking around the most. Full disclosure, one of them, the one who had the municipal experience, she would have been a fantastic candidate for this job. She lived in Sandusky. That is an hour and at least 20-minute commute each way. So I weighed my pros and cons with that and said, well, one winner, she's going to give me one winner and she's out of here. I have the luxury of having UHY in here right now to train somebody. I don't want to waste that on somebody I didn't see longevity with. So I had 2 candidates. I had Rachel and I don't even remember her other name. I had 2 candidates who came down to it. They both had credentials favoring opposite things. One was stronger on the accounting general ledger side, one was stronger on the HR payroll side. In my conversations with UHY, as we've been going through the process, the biggest challenge has been the payroll side of things. They said to me, and I also contacted Curtis on this, I did not make this decision lightly. I talked to Denise at UHY and I talked to Curtis, our accountant, and said, here's the 2 candidates I have. They're both great, their personalities, they fit wonderfully here. What would you, and they basically said, the general ledger accounting side is the easier side to teach. So I think that they can pick it up. And with all of the notebooks and everything that we know Mary Ellen has left over the years, I have no doubt, and neither did they, that that part of it would be easier to learn. So that is why we chose Rachel. It was not made lightly. So those were the candidates. And so no, I didn't have pick of the cream of the crop of people with municipal experience. That did not exist. So Rachel is an excellent candidate. She has been at her career, at her job for 23 years. Self-taught, worked her way up through the ranks. A lot of it was baptism by fire from what I learned. Staff would leave, accounts would fall in her lap, she had to figure out how to do it. That appealed to me. She can adapt, she can change, she can learn, she can self-teach. We know you have to do that in this job. It's a unique combination of a lot of things in this position. So I need somebody who can do it, and I honestly feel like she can. I have full confidence in it. So.
Any comments, questions, etc.? Lisa?
Can you answer Mr. Lekshak's comment about whether you know her?
Yeah, I do know her. We both are from St. Clair.
Okay.
We both run in the sports fundraising world. No, I don't hang out with her on Friday and Saturday nights, but of course we know each other. We are from the same community.
Have you done the background checks and drug
Yes.
tests?
Yes, background check was done. I hired a company from Warren to run it, came back clean as a whistle. So that's done.
Let's see what else I have here. I have a concern about the municipal, and I'm kind of concerned about, with no municipal experience, that we're starting at 68,000. Does she have any experience with BSNA software?
Not BSNA, different. She has different software, but
Okay. How long do you expect UHY to train? Have any idea?
I would like to have that conversation with Rachel and UHY not next week, when the week she starts, and get a feel for what we need to do. When she sits down and starts looking at things and digging in, I think that would help us a little bit more.
Okay,
Really?
and what's your anticipated start date?
So right now, I'm looking at May 2nd.
Okay, and the last thing, so is she gonna go through county bonding, or is the city gonna bond?
We can bond through SAF. It doesn't cost very much to add on. It's a rider to our policy.
Because the last two went through the county, it was just as easy too for the county, they bond.
When dealing with them on the last tax issue, they were pressing me to make sure that somebody was bonded in our office through here. So I'll probably just do it through staff and get the rider.
All right, I think that's all my questions. Again, I'm concerned because I know how difficult this job is, and municipal is totally separate from outside corporate, and this is even more complicated than most, unfortunately. That's just the way it's been set up over the years. So those are my concerns. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Well, the only thing I've run into a few in the municipalities I work for, and the debits and credits are opposite in municipalities than they are in business when you do your calculations. And I see a lot of them that come in and, yeah, I can do it, and all of a sudden, what do you mean that's different? So it's, it's a whole different mindset. It takes a lot of effort for learning.
Yeah, and I can assure you too, some of the things that we changed after last year, we have checks and balances in place that were not there before. Sign off by multiple people on things to make sure things are being done right. Journal entries, anything that's a reversal of money, everything has a check and balance now. So even though she would be learning some things there, I don't want to not give her credit where credit's due. There's certain things she's going to walk in here and know how to do. She is a professional, and but there is a check and balance process to make sure that if she's concerned whether or not she did do something right, we can see.
And I just know that some have problems with it. They don't understand it when they come into the job. It's completely opposite, and they have a hard time.
Yeah. Nope, I get it.
Wendy, anything? Or
I don't
John?
know. The one question was asked, or yes.
Brian?
No, I think that pretty much covered it.
So my only couple comments and one question is, I know, yes, there are some differences between municipal and private accounting. They're not that big. They really aren't. I've lived in both worlds. I've obviously done private business. I've done federal accounting. It's not that much different. So that doesn't concern me as much. I have a mild concern with the lack of accounting experience per se, but as you say, it isn't a huge deal to pick up on, especially if you have Curtis kind of helping coaching. Is Rachel planning on, as part of her professional development, taking an accounting course per se, if you will, kind of beef up that side? I mean, I can see she's certainly well versed in the payroll and 401k administration, stuff like that.
We can definitely go down that road and look
Okay.
at that, we can. And I do want to add too, so there's a huge piece of it that Anne Marie, as the treasurer's right hand, does. So there's another chunk of it that I don't want to give the appearance that is actually all on Rachel's position either. Anne Marie, as the admin clerk there, does a great deal of all of the AP stuff. She does most of the journal entries for that stuff. She's cutting all the checks. So she's not alone. Rachel wouldn't be a lone wolf too.
Sure.
And as much as I hate to admit it, but I've learned a ridiculous amount in the last 8 months too. And my experience has all been on the accounting side. So I will happily train her in everything that I've had to do and hand it over.
Okay, I mean, my feeling, we have to get someone into this position, and we need to do it fairly quickly to stop the bleeding per se from paying UHY. We truly need someone in this position to take the load off of Holly and to stop the massive funds that are, being spent on this, outside firm. So, and like you said, there's not a lot of people. It's no matter what the industry, it's hard to find people.
Right.
I mean, it's almost impossible some days. So.
Have someone who wants to learn, who's local. There's longevity here. There's an interest in learning the pieces she doesn't know. It just seems like a good fit, and I like the idea of the longevity piece for the city. That's one of the things that we've been lacking, and the lack of that historical knowledge has led to some of the issues that we've dealt with. So getting somebody in here that wants to be here and having them be a more local person speaks to that.
And that's always been my experience, is you can't teach someone to have a good attitude, but you can teach them knowledge that they don't necessarily have. So, any other discussions?
Did we ever find out if BSNA training is covered within our sort of usage of BSNA?
They do, I've got to double check. They do certain things that I think are free, and then some you have to pay for. But I can tell you that their help center is like the best I have ever seen. You click the help button and they'll call you, they'll walk you through the steps on how to do something.
Okay.
And BSNA is incredibly user-friendly. I had never used anything like that prior to being a city manager. I've self-taught myself it in some of the different modules in no time. So, but yes, they do offer training courses, I know that. Just some are not always free, but that's no big deal, we can pay for that.
Well, yeah, because up there in Oklamosa, where their thing is, they've got 3 or 4 rows of like this, but with computers on and everything, and they have different classes. One's for accounting, one's for the building, so, but it seems like everybody's using BSNA now, so.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion?
Can you guys hear me?
We can. Yep.
I just want to say that number one, I would love to have been there today to give my opinion and make my vote count. I planned this vacation 6 months ago. I had no idea about budget workshops and this special meeting. I planned everything around the city commission meetings. So like I said, it wasn't something it's not something I take lightly, and I would like to be sitting next to you if I could. So with that being said, I can also attest to the fact that throughout the hiring process, I would come in the city offices quite frequently and see the frustration on everyone's faces because they were not getting any candidates. I don't know how much more I can pay that because we're experiencing that as a business owner. Jake, you're a business owner. Other people are business owners that have employed. Nobody is working right now. Nobody wants to work. So, especially in the professional level, and especially for a municipality such as Marine City that does not pay what we should be paying. So we need to make some changes, and we need to realize that, hiring the people that we hire, we're lucky to get candidates, period. So this person has a good willingness to learn. We need to, and I think that we all agree, at least I do recall every city commissioner saying at every city meeting that, we are paying way too much money for the companies that we have to, come in and keep us afloat. So this is a good change. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Having said that, I need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the employment, the at-will employment agreement between the City of Marine City, Michigan and Rachel Gottlieb.
Support. We have a motion and support. Any further discussion?
Do you want to put the salary in there or just the contract?
The contract.
Or perhaps say, yeah, as per the contract drafted by.
Yeah, as per the contract.
Attorney Davis.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bryson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Okay, I want to qualify mine. I have no issues with the person, but I kind of don't like this, again, this agreement that we're doing. So it's nothing personal, but I'm going to vote no on the agreement.
Commissioner Callahan?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Kreidler?
Yes.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Having said that, I think I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Good job, you guys.
We are adjourned.